Welcome to a total legit guide for Nekros, the farmer. So this is Nekros, he's the farming guy of Warframe. He's just the guy that you go to whenever you need to do a farming anything. If you need any resource, this is the guy that you pick. You know, ever since Nekros was released, everyone has been saying that he's the death, edgy kind of guy, that he's like dark and shit. But actually, Nekros is a man of many talents. For example, he's a farmer, a gambler, and a drug addict. Cause there's no way that someone can do that shit without being high as fuck. Nekros is a man of chances. He's not afraid of risks. He will do anything to get that fucking loot. He lives for loot. He dies for loot. He dies a lot for loot. Sheesh, dude. Like, dude, stop. Like, seriously, stop.
As far back as I can remember, I always knew I deserved to be dead.
Nekros is the farming frame. This is a game about farming and loot, and he's the guy that gets the loot. That's his whole kit and the only reason that he's been so relevant ever since he was released. And he will continue to be relevant for that reason. His whole kit is centered around his third ability, Desecrate. Yeah, we're jumping to his third ability. This is the loot ability. And what it does is whenever there are corpses around Nekros, he will make them drop additional loot if they're in his ability range. It drains energy per desecrated body, not as long as it's active, like other abilities. There's a bunch of math shit that goes into this, but basically each corpse, including body parts caused by slash, has a higher chance to drop a health orb, and it has a chance to roll that enemy's drop table again. Basically use weapons with slash so you can cut the enemies to more pieces and get more loot out of them. For the drops, well, you basically have a chance to win, but twice. Imagine you're playing poker in a full table, and everyone has an eighth of a chance to win. Well, you do too, but twice. As if another Shadow Nekros is playing at the same time that you are, but if he wins, you get the reward. This is a really dumb analogy. This ability has an augment called Despoil, which just makes you consume 10 HP per corpse instead of 10 energy, which increases his energy economy massively and allows you to use a specific mod that works very well with his kit. We'll get to that in his builds. His fourth ability is Shadow of the Dead. Wait, you just skipped the whole kit? Shut up, I know, this will make sense later. I told you that this guy is high as fuck. Nekros summons up to 7 shadows of the last enemies you've killed with priority to the strongest ones. They keep their levels, but they get a buff to their damage, health and shields. Their HP drains over time. These shadows fight for you like in our shadows. If you press 4 again, you will fully heal active shadows and spawn more shadows depending on how many shadows you currently have to fill the gap. Are you fucking kidding me? It's the same fucking map too. No. What the fuck? Okay, just let me try to do something here. I hate this game so much. Well, this ability is great and all since it distracts enemy fire from you. The really good thing about it is the augment, Shield of Shadows, which makes his shadows take 6% of the damage dealt to Nekros. This augment allows Nekros to be used in Steel Path, where there is a higher loot drop chance, because it gives him the survivability that he needs to allow his 3's HP drops to keep him topped off, instead of him getting blown to bits instantly. By the way, if you're wondering what his passive does, he literally just regens 10 HP when enemies die around him. What's the fucking point of this? His one is Soul Punch. Nekros punches the target enemy in the fucking gut, making their soul leave their body, causing it to become a projectile that damages enemies. If the target dies, or if he dies within 3 seconds of using the Soul Punch, they will become a Shadow of the Dead. said, this ability is shit. It doesn't deal enough damage to be used as a DPS ability, and even though it creates more shadows, that doesn't really matter since energy is definitely not something that you need to worry about thanks to your 3. It's honestly a shitty gimmick, but we just subsume it out. What you put on here depends on your playstyle. I tried a bunch of stuff and they all work. Just think of what you would like. His 2 is Terrify. Nekros presses the sun and makes up to 20 enemies enter a panic state, which will make them stop attacking you and start to run away. It also reduces their armor by 60%, which can reach 100% if you use mods. This is Nekros' situational ability, and it's kind of good and also kind of not. You basically want to use it in order to strip armor from enemies, and that's honestly all you want from it. You just want to walk up and strip them, you know? Just walk up to these guys and fucking strip them. I don't understand what's so fucking hard about walking up to someone, stripping them, and then blowing them. Is that really so hard? The problem with this ability is that it causes enemies to flee, which fucks up the enemy spawn. So even though the armor strip is good, it's still kind of hard to use the ability without screwing the whole spawn, which is important because the more enemies there are, the more you benefit from your 3. So how do you build this guy? Well, obviously we use the augments since they just make everything much easier. There's also equilibrium since your 3 spawns a lot of energy and health orbs, so might as well have them add more. Besides that, we need range, and depending on how you want to use this guy, you can go for strength or say fuck it and forget about your 2. What's great is that you have options with this guy even though he has the same job either way. The basic gist of this guy is to kill a bunch of enemies, resurrect them, and then use them to create more corpses from their friends and then harvest their corpses and souls. Basically capitalism. He is the frame that you play whenever you're lacking resources and you need to farm, and that's the only reason that he's so relevant since Warframe requires a lot of resources. Remember, mass genocide is always the answer to your economic issues.